What's happening, MJ traders and investors? It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Tuesday, April 9th. Hope you're doing well, as good as you can be. Tilray did miss in terms of their Q3 2024 estimates. They missed in terms of revenue and EPS, earnings per share, and the stock was down over 22% at one point at the low of the day today. So it's been a rough day, but overall, this was a little bit to be expected because of the fact that on the weekly time frame, we ran, on a lot of our names, we ran 100% plus without even confirming a weekly uptrend. So this is giving us a weekly higher low. We're going to take a look at the chart at the end as well. We'll go over some of the main points from the earnings results as well, and then we'll go over the chart, the technicals. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Speaking of live, I did go live and I streamed the conference call, and it ended up being 2 hours and 30 minutes. It was about 30 minutes worth of comment at the end. So if you were on the earnings call and you want to just skip ahead in that video, basically I talked with the community. There was 150 people on the stream at one point. So I think we probably had more people that were on the YouTube live stream, the POW Group YouTube live stream, than were on the actual conference call, more than likely. But yeah, there was a really great conversation with the community, and I went through my thoughts and opinions as well. And I did my comments from the earnings call in the live chat as well. So you can check that out. You can just skip ahead until the end of the conference call, and then I go over that with the community. And you can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPOW. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And also going to be giving away an annual membership to the POW Group private community. If you just go to community tab on YouTube channel, scroll down, you can see here, there's a link. You just click on that, drop a random comment, and the details are there. And I'll be announcing the winner on 4/20, Saturday, April 20th, as a celebration of 4/20 Germany going legal and Florida on the ballot for 2024. All right, jumping into it, Tilray Brands reported Q3 fiscal 2024 financial results, and I posted a video about this not too long ago, doing an earnings prep, and I said that the analyst and Wall Street consensus was $199 million USD, and then negative 0.05 for EPS, and it came in at 188.3 million, so a pretty big miss there in terms of revenue, and negative 0.12 for EPS. So they did have a pretty big miss in terms of earnings per share and loss from operations. But overall, they talked about some struggles in Canada, the price war, things like that. And then, like I said, on that conference call, they go through all of that, but I highly encourage you to check that out. There's going to be a replay, but as I mentioned, you can just go to the POW Group YouTube channel and you can watch it there. I did the whole conference call, streamed it online, and it's pretty cool because I can interact with each and every one of you. Sometimes these conference calls can be pretty boring, so it's always entertaining seeing everybody's comments and interacting with you in the live chat. So as I mentioned, 188 million for revenue, 30% net revenue growth over the prior quarter from last year. Beverage alcohol net revenue increased 165% over the prior year quarter, fifth largest craft beer in the US, and 4.5% craft beer market share. And they still have number one market share in Canada and Germany. Net revenue increased 33% with international MJ growth. And their US MJ strategy in place to strike with potential drug policy reform. So they mentioned on the conference call that if we get rescheduling in the US to Schedule 3, then that's going to open the medical channel for Tilray, which would be huge. And then obviously, Canada doubling its store count from 75 to 150 in in Ontario. And then Germany going online with Pillar 1, so medical, not-for-profit, and cultivation and possession. And then Pillar 2 at some point, more than likely in 2025, at the latest 2026, in my opinion. That's going to be huge. And then safer banking, uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ. We have rescheduling in the US, Pennsylvania, Florida. There's so many bullish catalysts. And then milligrams from 10 milligrams to 100 milligrams for edibles here in Canada. And then also, last but not least, would be April 16th. So that's the date that we have the federal budget. So a week from today, if we just go to the video section here, I posted a video on this not too long ago saying that budget from the federal budget is going to be on April 16th. And he mentioned in this video as well with a BNN Bloomberg that that would add $70 to $80 million to Tilray's business. So to their bottom line, most of it would hit their bottom line. So that's going to be massive, right? If we see that excise tax shift a week from today, potentially, that could be huge. And if we get, if we string together a few catalysts here, then, like I said, this could be a monster trade opportunity and upside that we could potentially be seeing over the next few weeks and months. But we'll take a look at the technicals and the chart as well. We did have a pretty big pullback today, but overall, it's not looking too bad, to be honest. But we'll go through some. I'm not going to go through this entire thing. It's pretty lengthy. I don't envy the person that has to put this together because there's a lot going on here. But we'll just go over some of the key highlights. And they talked about cash. The improvement in cash use was primarily related to the achievement of the Hexo and Trust synergies. But yeah, they did say that they paid about 34% of their MJ revenue went to excise tax, which is not sustainable. Something has to give there. Their guidance wasn't very good, so they said adjusted EBITDA and then cash flow, free cash flow, not looking too good. I don't know why they would even give that guidance, to be honest. I don't think there's going to be any major profitability metrics hit until 2025. But I think we still have a few quarters to go. And something we have to remember too is we'll take a look at their cash here, but we have to remember there's still a possibility that they dilute again, right? I don't think we're going to see a Tilray Brands do a reverse split. I don't think that's ever going to be in the cards, just to kind of put everybody's mind at ease. But I do think it's possible that we see one more dilutionary event, because as we know, if companies are not profitable, how are they going to keep the business operating? They have to either dilute or raise money through non-dilutive financing, which would be a loan or something like that. But as we know, interest rates are high, and not a lot of companies and banks want to lend out money right now to the MJ space specifically as well, right? But also plagued by high interest rates, etc. Tapping the equity markets has to be expected. At least one more time, maybe two, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened one more time, and I also wouldn't be super worried. They also have a 420 lineup coming out. I posted about this before, and in the MJ Weekly News recap last week, they've got some brand new flower from Redican as well that looks fantastic, and a bunch of new cool products coming to market. So this is going to be a massive company long term. We'll go through here a little bit quicker. I want to bring up the cash. Yeah, so for the quarter, they had cash and cash equivalents at the end of the quarter. They had $146.253 million. Let's go through some of the key highlights. Yeah, $188.34 million net revenue. Net loss per share, negative 0.12. So the net loss was $104.983 million. And one thing, so I wanted to show this here. So $146.253 million at the end of this quarter was their cash and cash equivalents. And then February 28th of last year, they were sitting at $164.997 million. So they are seeing a little bit of cash burn there, but not, it's almost like a dyslexic or something. 146, 164. But yeah, so not that bad in terms of cash burn, but they did say that they were saving cash for more M&A activities as well and investments. So we could see some accretive and strategic investments as well. So that's not completely ruled out of the cards yet at this point either. Their margins were okay. Just scroll down a little bit here. So yeah, this is the excise tax portion. So they had $21.6 million paid in excise tax, and then total $63.436 million. So that equates to about 34% of their MJ revenue went to excise tax. And even Organogram and Oxley said the same thing and had the same thing, where about a third of their revenue went to excise tax. And especially, being a MJ focused company like Organogram or Oxley, they don't have these other segments to fall back on. So I don't think it's a bad idea that they're focused on craft beer and spirits and whatnot. They're mostly focused on craft beer. I know they have Alpine, but most of their focus is on craft beer and spirits and stuff, which is easily going to be, which I think is a lot of upside in craft beer, and also the infusible MJ down the road option, right? But yeah, the gross margin. So we'll just go through here. So yeah, adjusted gross margin. So this was for the period that ended February 29th, 2024. So their alcohol beverage segment was 38%. So generally, anywhere from 40 to 50 is decent. anything above 50 is just like phenomenal, right? But they're kind of sitting around the average here where you would expect it to be. And then their MJ was at 33%, 10% for the distribution, and wellness was at 30%. So their hemp business, this Tilray Medical, CC Pharma, and their pharmacies, I think they said they had 13,000 pharmacies through that channel. So just imagine, where we're going. But yeah, 33%. I know like SNDL, a couple other companies, those discount models, I think they're sitting around 25% for their MJ margins. But yeah, definitely want to see that get back up above 40. Somewhere around that 40 area is great. And then, yeah, anything, 50 or north of 50 is phenomenal. But we should continue to see that improve over time with the synergies and everything like that for all the acquisitions and whatnot. But that's pretty much all I wanted to mention. Like I said, you can check out the live stream. Just if you don't want to go, I highly encourage you to check out the earnings call, especially the questions and answers at the end. But if you haven't seen that, I highly encourage you to check it out. But like I said, you can just skip ahead in that video as well and go to the end where I interact with the community, go through the chat, and then I give my thoughts and opinions on it. And I also did my commentary on some of the key takeaways from the call as well. I think I pretty much mentioned everything that I wanted to mention. But from the high of yesterday on Tilray to the low of the day today, we were down about 28%. And then from the recent high here back on Thursday, we were down about 32%. So I actually took a swing trade in Tilray today. I had a swing trade on Moo. It's just a small position. I have a short-term account. I have a longer-term no-touch account as well with Tilray, but my Moo one is just a day trading, swing trading account. And I was mostly just playing around, and I bought SNDL around 140, and then I sold it around 250. So, and then I also bought CGC in that small position in CGC, and I was up big on that one. So I actually ended up basically doubling my money on Moo, and then I took that money, and today I bought Tilray at 220. Again at 210, and I'm looking to get it under $2. The low of the day today is $2. So might do a third entry. We could potentially see daily oversold today, or not today, but maybe today, if not potentially over the next week or the next few days to the end of the week. And we do have the Canopy exchangeable shares vote on Friday as well. So we could see some hype leading into that. And then, like I said, next week will be April 16th will be a save the date where we could potentially see federal budget come out in Canada and a percentage switch for excise tax, and they're talking about 10% on the call and throughout the industry. So that would be absolutely huge. That, like I said, 80 million of that would be added to Tilray's bottom line, mostly to their bottom line. And what we'll do is we'll look at the 0.786 fib retracement here. So if you go from the low to the high, we had that daily bull flag that played out. We hit our target, and here we are pulling back now. So at this point, oops, there it is right there. Am I not on log scale again? Is that what's going on? Yeah, that's what's going on. Not sure. Yeah, it's been all messed up here on TradingView. Oh, yes, all right. I changed that fib during the live stream. I remember now. So, yeah, if you go from the low to the high of this move, the 0.786 there is at 190. So that could be an area. And then more than likely, daily oversold would put us around that 180 to 190 area. But, yeah, in terms of the daily bull flag, you just go from the low to the high here, and I did change that to logarithmic, and then you'd oops, let's go here, and then yeah, it was a perfect daily bull flag playing out. Actually, I don't know what's going on here with TradingView. Why is that not working? So yeah, we had our, oh, it was right here, my bad. There we go. I just want to draw that out. Sorry, it's an early day today, and I think I drew that improperly the first time. I was actually expecting 309, so we hit 297. Came very close, and I think it was because it wasn't on logarithmic. That's what was going on. TradingView's been acting strange the last few days. It like randomly turns off log scale. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'll have to keep an eye on that and remember that for the future. But something that we did expect was a potential weekly higher low because we didn't change the weekly trend, right? So we went from the low here to the high of the bounce. We didn't have our higher low and higher high. We lost the weekly uptrend as well. So when you run, what was it, like 85%? Yeah, 85, 86% off the low, and we still hadn't changed the weekly trend. the most likely scenario is that we pulled back for a weekly high or low based on the size of that move and not yet being in a weekly uptrend. And then the weekly EMAs were a nice area to target. And like I said, that 0.786 there around $1.90. And we still have yet to confirm a monthly uptrend as well. So we still have a lot of work to do. Weekly uptrend, monthly uptrend still yet to confirm. Whereas a lot of names are in our monthly uptrends like VFF, Cron, SNDL, High Tide all confirmed monthly uptrends recently. MSOS, first time in history. So it's looking good. It's going to be acting as a bit of a laggard in my opinion. And that's why I added Tilray in my Moo swing trade as well, is because I'm going to be holding in this until we confirm a monthly uptrend, which would be a break of 340. So, look to sell it around that 340, 350 area. And then I still have it in a shorter term account and a longer term account, right? I won't be selling any in the short term account until, at least $10. And then in my longer term account, I'm not selling any of Tilray or any of my MJ positions until the U.S. legalizes at the federal level, whether it be through Congress or through descheduling similar to Germany and Canada. But with that being said, we're not looking too bad here. We're back testing the 10-week moving average there at 202. We're still bullish on the stochastic and the MACD. We're also back testing the 50 weekly there at 207, trying to hold that this week. And we actually back tested the 200-day moving average. We did lose it, and we came close to the 50-day there at 196. But we are gearing up for a golden cross here with the 50-day below the 200-day moving average. Last time that happened, we went from about $1.50 to $3.40 on the HHS recommendation to Schedule 3. What could potentially give us this similar upside if we get the actual approval of Schedule 3 by the DEA? And I think that is very possible and the most likely outcome. And I'm still thinking it could happen between now and the end of this month. We're also gearing up for a 50 and 100 weekly bull cross. That's only ever happened once in history. And you can see that's when we hit $67, the high of February 2021, when the shorter term's below the longer term and they cross. That's bullish. In this instance, it was bearish because the shorter term, the 50 was above the 100. They crossed. Price went from about $8 down to $1.50. Now we're potentially seeing another bull cross of that. And usually price go up. But going into there, like I said, still lots of work to do. We still need to confirm the weekly uptrend, then the monthly uptrend, but it's all about 340 monthly resistance. But overall, a positive thing that, we're seeing other leaders in the space, High Tide, SNDL, which I mentioned, they would more than likely confirm monthly uptrends first because they had less percentage to go to confirm it. Whereas Tilray had a lot more percentage that it still had to go to confirm that resistance break, right? So I think Tilray, hasn't seen as big of a move as some of the other names, especially like CGC and ACB, but those were beaten down more, right? From September to the low here, recent lows of a couple weeks ago, CGC was down like 85% and Aurora was down like 80% or 82%. And then if you look at September highs to where the low of Tilray was a couple of weeks ago, it was only down like 52%, right? So it's all relative. And I think that, if we get a Schedule 3 recommendation or an excise tax improvement, if we get the Schedule 3 approved by DEA and excise tax switch to a percentage fee, I think Tilray could be one of the biggest beneficiaries and see the biggest price appreciation over the next couple weeks and months. So that's what I'm banking on. But going into there, it's Rob with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. Let me know what you think of this earnings. Like I said, it's probably going to be at least 2025 first half, if not back half, on the worst case scenario where we hit any kind of profitability metrics. But like I said, medical in the U.S. potentially with the results of Schedule 3. They even talked about MedMen as well on the call and how they still like the brand, but obviously went through its trials and tribulations as well. So that's always a possibility. We know they own their convertible debt. So we'll see what happens there. But let me know what was your biggest takeaway from the earnings results? And if you were on the call, what was your biggest takeaway there? Let me know what you think of this earnings report. Going into there, it's Rob with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again in the next video.